I'm a huge fan of the Ice and Fire series. I love these books. I love the show, and I thought it was about the right time to do a book ranking. I just love George R. Martin so much. I think that he's such a talented writer, and the way that he writes these books, they're so rich with detail, and the worlds are so huge and vast. And I love these characters. Without further ado, here we go. Number 5 is the fourth book, A Feast for Crows. The pacing of this story slows down considerably. George R. Martin focuses mostly on political squandering and maneuvering in King's Landing, and to me, A Feast for Crows is probably the least satisfying book out of all of the Game of Thrones novels. I think it is a bit slow and there's not much really happening, and it doesn't focus on my favorite characters. And I think that it hurts the book overall. It takes place at the same time as A Dance with Dragons, and due to that, it also omits our main characters like Daenerys and Jon and Tyrion. They're not in this book, they're in the next one. To me, A Feast for Crows is not as exciting as the rest, so it is dead last on this ranking list. Number 4 is A Dance with Dragons, which is the last book currently in this series. We haven't had a sequel yet to this really good book. I thought that A Dance with Dragons is stronger than Feast. It runs parallel to it, it runs at the same time. And it focuses on Jon, Tyrion, and Daenerys, which are my favorite characters in Game of Thrones. Jon here struggles with the leadership at the Wall. Tyrion drifts through Essos with another lady dwarf. And Daenerys tries to rule Meereen. It is a really good book. I love the cliffhanger at the end. We don't know if Jon Snow is alive or dead here in the books. It would be kind of crazy if George R. R. Martin kept Jon Snow dead. And Winds of Winter would be kind of like a dramatic change from the series. I would personally like it. But yeah, it's an exciting novel. It's a really good fifth chapter in the Game of Thrones universe. Number 3 is A Game of Thrones. The first book of the series is really great. It is superbly well written, and it draws you into the world and introduces you to the main characters and the main houses. Ned Stark is still probably my favorite character in Game of Thrones, and he is just so well written here. Tyrion is great. Lady Stark is awesome. There are just so many great characters here. Arya, Jon Snow, Daenerys. It is just a really great novel. It's well written, and it's well worth your time if you want to start the Ice and Fire series. You start with the first novel, you have to. It is just an excellent read, and it came out in 1996, which is kind of a long ways away. The climax of A Game of Thrones is really shocking as well. I never expected for Ned Stark to die here, but it happens, and I was mad. I was mad at the series when I first saw that, and then when I went to read the books, it wasn't as shocking because I knew what was coming, but still. I did not expect Ned Stark to die at the beginning of the series. George R. R. Martin really did a fantastic job following his character's demise, and I thought that putting Tyrion mostly as the main character was the best choice. Tyrion is just an awesome character. Number 2 is A Clash of Kings, which is my second favorite book in this series. It is really an action-packed novel. And there's a lot of political scheming here. There's a lot of kings that want the throne, kings and queens. We got Stannis Baratheon, we got Daenerys and Joffrey. They're all planning to get this throne, their birthright. And I love Melisandre. Like, it's hard to pinpoint an actual villain here because they're all so gray that like it's hard to find somebody that actually really like worse than the rest. I mean, Joffrey is probably the main villain of the book in my opinion. He is just one evil and sadistic bastard. But yeah, Tywin is almost just as bad as Joffrey. The action here is so well written. The chapters are just so tight, and the characters are so interesting. Daenerys wanders in East, and Jon Snow ventures deep into the frozen North, and he is with the Night's Watch, and it's just so compelling. The Battle of Blackwater is just so awesome, and it is probably my favorite battle in Game of Thrones. It is just so epic, and it is exciting. It's a great climax to a Clash of Kings. This book is really a page turner, and I love that this book stayed focused more on Bran. I like Bran more in the series than in the show. I think in the show they don't do a good job of developing Bran, and he becomes king at the end, which is really dumb. I thought that it was going to be Jon Snow for sure, but it's Bran. But you just have to accept it. A Clash of Kings, it is really well worth your time. Number one to me is A Storm for Swords, which is the third book. It is a masterpiece, in my opinion, and a lot of people think that it is a masterpiece. It is suspenseful, it is action packed. It has two gruesome weddings. It has the Red Wedding, which is probably the most shocking events in Game of Thrones history. We lose Robb Stark, we lose Lady Stark here. It is just a shocking scene, and I almost can't stand the Red Wedding. It is as upsetting to me as Ned Stark's death. It is really hard to watch, and it's not a fun part of the book, but it is a necessary part of the series. And we also have the Purple Wedding, which is Tyrion and Sansa's wedding, which is one of the most awkward weddings ever. It is done super well in the series also, and you really kind of hate Joffrey in this scene, and this entire book, man, it is just really well done. And we see Jaime evolve dramatically here. Jaime and Brienne, they embark on a quest together, and Jaime loses his hand, and they have excellent chemistry. They are just really a good pair here, and I love their storyline. And Lady Stark comes back from the dead. It is just an awesome novel, and it is my favorite of the series, and a lot of people's favorites. I really enjoy his writing, and I think that he is one of the best writers working today. Even though he writes like a turtle, he has written some of the best fantasy books, and I am still hoping for the Winds of Winter, even though I don't expect to have it soon or in the next year or so. But I am still excited for that, and I will always love Game of Thrones. So let me know what your rankings, your Game of Thrones rankings are down in comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.